All right, hello everyone. Just wanted to take a look here at the consumer staples sector because it looks like there's some ideas that we can look at on the downside for you options traders or put buyers. And one of the things that we do here is we look at sectors, okay? And if a sector um, looks weak, we can look at the stocks within the sector to see if we could find something that looks weaker. Okay. If you think about it, what a sector is just the aggregate of all the stocks that are in that sector. So therefore, if you look at the sector itself, you're looking at the aggregate or the average. So there are going to be stocks that look weaker or stronger depending on the situation. So XLP is the spider that we watch for consumer staples, and we could see some of the companies here. Procter and Gamble is 15% of it. Costco is 8% of it. So there looks like there's going to be some potential low risk ideas on the downside coming up here. This is the ETF that follows the sector. It's XLP. It's the spider ETF. All right. So by looking at these every day, we can get ideas. Now we can see that it's testing this important support. Support is a large group of buyers or investors who are looking to pay at or close to the same price. Like up here, this was a support level. Okay. As opposed to a resistance level, which is investors who are looking to sell at the same price. So a lot of times when the market's going down, it finds support around, well, I should say, the sell off ends around the support level because there's enough buyers or demand to absorb all of the selling. Now, why is there support at this level? Well, it was resistance. And resistance levels can turn into support. And you can read more about that in our technical analysis lessons. Um, but we have people who sold who regret doing so when the price goes higher. So they place their buy orders. They decide they want to buy the stock back, but they don't want to pay more than they sold it for. So they place their buy orders at the same level that they sold at. If there's enough of these orders, the level forms support like it does here. So if support breaks, meaning that the market we're looking at trades below it, it could be a bearish thing. It could show us that the investors who created the support with their buy orders are finished. They either finish their orders, they cancel their orders, but regardless, they're out of the market. And anytime you take a lot of demand or buyers out of the market, the sage is set for it to go lower because sellers will need to offer their shares at a discount in order to attract buyers off of the sidelines. So let's take a look at a couple of stocks within the sector that I think look pretty. They're going to be on my trading list. They're not. I'm not saying do this yet. I'm just saying let's keep an eye on it because if all this support gives away, there's going to be some easy money to be made here. So as we saw, Procter and Gamble is the biggest company in this sector, and it is right now testing support at a former resistance level. Again, we have people who this is buyer's remorse. People buy, they thought that I got it backwards. Sorry. People sell, and then when the market goes lower, they thought they did the right thing. But when it goes higher, a lot of these people say, man, I made a mistake. I want to buy my shares back, but I don't want to pay more than I sold them for. So this group of investors kind of gathers around this level. And in this case, it's 149.50. Now, if this support breaks, meaning if the price trades below it and maybe closes there and sends a day or two lower, there's a good chance that a new downtrend is going to form. When a market gets to resistance and it doesn't break through, downtrends tend to form. So if we break lower and the market retests it and this becomes resistance because of buyer's remorse, people bought. If the market goes lower, a lot of them are going to say, I made a mistake, I want to sell, and I want to get out of break even. So they're going to place their sell orders at the same level they bought at. So it's not an uncommon thing to see a support level break and then have the market rally and retest it for 2 or 3 days. And if the level that was support converts into resistance, there's a good chance it goes lower, because there's people who want to sell start to sense that there are other sellers in the crowd and they're afraid they're going to miss out. So they decide to lower their prices. If you want a buyer to come to you, you need to have the lowest price in the market, or else they'll just go to whoever does. So one seller might say, you know what, I'm at 149.5. Another said, you know what, I'm going to go to 149.4. Another says I'm going to go to 149, and so on. And that's what forces a downtrend. All right, so we're going to be watching this over the next few days to see if this breaks down and breaks this support. Costco is another important stock in this sector. And we could see we're testing support. And we've been testing this support for like 2 weeks now. So, the buying and the selling is going back and forth. Eventually, either the bears or the bulls are going to emerge as the winners, and we're going to go one way or another way. My guess is it's lower, which is why I'm talking about things on the short side, but you never know. I mean, we could get a decent rebound or a tradable rebound. I mean, I'm bearish on the market and I think it goes lower, but that doesn't mean that there won't be bounces that are tradable. Anyway, I'm keeping an eye on this. If this support breaks, this could have a meaningful move lower, down to maybe around here. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Mondelez International, if I'm even saying that right. Again, we see this whole phenomena of how some price levels are more important than others. And you're going to hear that a lot from me because I think that's like the most fundamental rule of trading. So resistance becomes support. People who sold regret doing so when the market goes higher. A lot of them tell themselves they're going to buy their shares back, but they don't want to pay more than they sold them for. So they place their buy orders at the same level they sold at. If there are enough of them, the level that was resistance becomes support. Also of note here too, notice this little down arrow here. This is what we call a descending triangle pattern. And what this illustrates is that as time is passing, right, the sellers are becoming more aggressive. They're willing to accept lower prices. Meanwhile, the buyers have held firm at their level. They're okay with waiting for the sellers to come to them. So think about it. You have a market with complacent buyers and aggressive sellers. Any market, I don't care what it is, autos, stocks, cryptos, options, anytime you have aggressive sellers and complacent buyers, it sets the stage for the market to go lower. All right, let's just take a look at one other thing. This is Coke, and I'll give you a little stock market trivia. And as you know, we love to do history. Did you know that KO is the symbol for Coca-Cola because when it went public, I believe in the 20s, boxing was the number one sport. So they gave it the symbol KO to mean knockout. So how's that? You can amaze your friends with that piece of trivia. But once again, testing support. Look how precise this is. 62.90. It's where the trading was here. It got below it today, came back, but this is looking pretty weak and pretty precarious. So just to sum it up, I'm going to have consumer staple stocks on my radar screen for potential ideas on the downside, which for me means buying puts because I don't short stocks. But it's too soon to pull the trigger yet. We have to wait and see. All right, we could get another thing that looks like that. But if the market talks to us the best traders listen to the market. They don't have preset ideas. They let the market tell them what to do. And if the support starts to give way and we have price closes that are lower, that's the market saying, hey, guess what? Those investors who created this support are out of the market. They're gone. So you can even see here an example of a resistance level staying intact. I didn't even notice that. So once you take buyers out of the market, whatever market it is, it sets the stage for the prices to go lower. All right, so that's all I got for tonight, at least on this sector. Thanks, everybody.